You know what else I hate about this game? No rapid fire unless you increase your power! You need to kill enemies and collect items in order to survive against the enemies of the level. But here's the problem. Because you're limited to how you control your character, and because of enemies flying around like crazy, chances are you're going to face the boss with a low amount of energy. But if you go straight forward and avoiding everything in sight without worrying, then you're going to end up shooting really slowly with a chance of getting killed by the boss easily. Either way, you're still fucked! Listen, Sakara. In every shoot 'em up game I know on the NES and Famicom, there is some form of rapid fire you can do in the game. Either tap the B button rapidly or hold it. But this game does neither in your default form like all other classic shoot 'em ups. Even the bad shoot 'em ups do this too. Convo no Nazo had rapid fire from the get-go, not like what you did with this shit. When you're playing this game and you lack rapid fire in some way, it's frustrating as fuck. I can prove to you with other games that you really fucked up on this part. Sakara. It is wrong to take out or limit rapid fire in a game. You should be impeached for that. It's also a pain in the ass when you're fighting against the boss in each level. On Earth, you go against Grimlock, who was never a Decepticon in the show. Not only do you have to deal with these pain in the ass controls, you're also going to notice that the hit detection is piss poor as shit. No matter how close or how far you fire at him, it takes like 5 to 6 shots to see him flash. Think that's a lot, right? But the icing on the cake is that you've got Grimlock throwing bombs at your ass, resulting in taking even longer to kill him. So the only way to survive and kill him is to make sure you have all your energy, power, and speed bars at maximum, because if you don't, then you'll have the worst possible case of impossible boss anxiety. And those idiots at Takara did it again! Like Convo no Nazo, the majority of these enemies in each level aren't even from the show. Yeah, you got the cassettes from Sound Blaster and Twincast, but they don't transform. At least the generic planes from generic tanks transformed in Convo no Nazo, which actually made a little more sense because it's Transformers. What the fuck are all these things? You got donuts, a toy helicopter, a fucking toy plane, raining chocolate salty balls, African killer bees, okay, I ran out of names for these games, guys, but you get what I'm talking about, right? This just in. It seems that reliable sources confirm that the default character I'm playing as right now is not Rodimus Prime or Hot Rod. The Transformer I'm actually playing as is actually Chrome Dome. Chrome Dome? Seriously, Chrome Dome? Even though he doesn't look anything like Chrome Dome from the show and looks more like Rodimus or Hot Rod? My god! That is just low right there! The game designers in Sakara are a lot stupider than I thought! My god, who the hell does Sakara to hire to develop their games? You know, I bet they get people from the main toy division, get a bunch of random inexperienced people from the street to make games for them, and I bet they do something like this. Hey sir, want to make a quick buck by making shitty games for children? Then come on down to the gaming division of Takara, where we make shitty games based on the hit series Transformers and scam the children of the world. Good god! You know, if I was that comic book guy from The Simpsons and saw this shit happening, I'd probably be like, worst idea ever. I'd probably knock that motherfucker out along with that. So after you beat the boss, you only complete the first half of the level. Yes, people, there's a second half. Prepare for more suffering. In the second half of the level, you go inside the jail to see if there's any kidnapped Transformers you need to rescue. And if you're lucky, the transformer you save will become a playable character. But unfortunately, whether you have all the power and speed at full force or not, those things are not automatically granted to the other transformer once you get them. So if Chrome gets killed, don't expect the next transformer to save you from the next level. Especially since there's hardly any enemies that help increase your power and speed. Unfortunately, in Earth's jail, there are no transformers to rescue. And as you notice, the only way to open the gates in each part of the jail is to either kill enough enemies or destroy all the D-ball balls depending where you are to see a Decepticon symbol pop up. And that's your key to get out. Okay, so this part of the game isn't that bad, but the biggest issue you're gonna find here is the controls. They are both stiff and sensitive at the same time. For example, if there's any enemy that pops out of nowhere and tries to attack you up close, you try to get away, but there's a 1-second delay before you move, possibly resulting in a hit. But since you gotta get away so quickly, you end up moving too fast, and if there's an enemy right across, you're fucked. And again with these chocolate salty balls and donuts as enemies instead of having actual things related to Transformers. My god, can't these people ever be creative at least? Adding spiders to the mix ain't gonna help. Oh, and I forgot to mention that once your power bar is full, your weapon turns into a spread gun like in Contra. And I gotta admit, Takara actually did something right with that. But the spread gun isn't gonna help you long enough. Once you get to the boss, your weapon somehow magically turns from a spread gun into a ping pong ball. Who the fucking Takara thought this was a good idea? And who the hell am I fighting? Is that even a character from the Headmasters anime? It doesn't even look like a Transformer in the slightest. In fact, that thing reminds me of those battery-powered toy robots that say, "My name is Zobok. Fire! Drop your weapon." Anyway, the objective of his part is to kill the second boss in the form of a Pong-style fight. And unless you have a big block to hide behind like I'm doing right now, there's no way in hell you're gonna survive. Why? Because these balls fly around all over the place and even your own missiles can kill you. What the fuck is up with that, Takara? Ladies and gentlemen, I think I may have discovered Pong for retards. Think that's bad? Well, that's how the game developers at Takara were when they made this piece of shit in Convoy no Nazo. So after you kill the boss, you are treated to a bonus stage that's actually the only fun part about this game. Too bad it's short! The next level I'm going to show you is Cybertron. Now let me ask you this question. Do you notice anything different from this in the first half of the Earth level aside from different background, different music, and recolored enemies? Cause I sure as hell don't. It's basically the same thing, so I hardly have anything to say about this part. The only thing I can say is that you still keep the amount of power and speed you had before, and that the boss is different, of course. Speaking of the first boss in this level, Takara fucked up again! I mean, who the fuck is this thing? At least Earth had Grimlock, but I honestly can't tell who this Transformer really is. They're so poorly designed that lots of them don't even remind me of any of the G1 and Headmasters characters. Not to mention, for whatever reason, this boss seems way too easy, especially when your power and speed bars are at maximum. At least the Cybertron jail is a little different from the Earth jail, but is it better? Fuck no it isn't! You still have the stiff and sensitive controls, you still have the chocolate salty balls to kill, and the objective is still the same. The only new enemies this level has is octopuses and those flying saucer thingies. Takara, can you please be more creative? The other thing that's different is that there's actually a Transformer to rescue. I think it's either Highbrow or Brainstorm because it's blue and white and poorly designed at the same time, but those two Headmasters in the show that had the colors blue and white. Once again, I like to remind you that the Transformer you rescue won't gain the same power and speed you currently have. And again with the ping pong boss in this level. Only this time, it's even more a pain in the ass.